Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe Consumes Cinema. I'm your host, Mr. Milkshake. Brings all the Severed to the yard, and they're like, this place is a total fucking nightmare. You gotta let us out of here. This is hell on earth. You gotta stop this. And today we have Severance, Season 2, Episode 2. So the first episode back was all about the ins, the people on the inside. I think I'm going to start calling them the work group because I hate these terms innie and outie. They're dehumanizing, by design. Our entire first episode back focused on our team on the inside, and they were given the option to leave. Initially, Mark was placed in a new work group. He didn't like that at all. He demanded that, his team return to him. Surprisingly, Melchek agreed. Every time Mark went into the elevator to, switch on and off, I highly suspect that he's not going anywhere or doing anything. I think he's literally just being shut off, whereas normally he would switch from one mark to the other mark. I don't think that's happening right now, because it just doesn't make sense that after everything that had happened at the finale of season 1, that Mark would agree to come back. We know that he was on the verge of quitting, and that was before, the whole thing with his sister and losing the baby and that freaking them out. I know Severed Mark communicated in his very last moment before he got switched over, she's still alive, and he was holding up a picture of his wife. That might be a motivation to keep coming back. But then again, wouldn't it make more sense to stay on the outside and sue the company or something like that? Because you just give them way too much control over you when you go back in that situation. It's the whole problem to begin with. So yeah, I don't know. I don't trust Melchek saying that everyone agreed to come back voluntarily. I don't buy that at all. Well, I mean, I do sort of buy that for some of them, like Irving, I think, would make sense. Helly would definitely make sense, but again, her situation is very unique. Mark is the one person that under no circumstance should he return, really. Again, unless he thinks this is the only way he can actually, find out if his wife is alive or not. Speaking of Miss Casey, things ended with her going to that floor where, who knows what the hell happens. Irvin's subconscious was seeping through, and that's why he was painting that image over and over again. And yeah, I do have a crazy theory that Miss Wong is a de-aged Miss Casey. The whole thing with the sheep made me think of cloning. It's already well established that the show has a sci-fi element to it. Severance is pretty advanced technology, so if they can do something like that, who's to say they can't do something else like cloning or de-aging or anything like that? They definitely wouldn't be stopped by any of the moral implications, that's for damn sure. Yeah, but I think this whole episode is going to be about what has happened to the people on the outside. I think we're going to get our first glimpses of that. Find out if my theory is true, that they're literally not going back to their outside self anymore. They're just having their day reset and started over and over again. But yeah, we're going to find out. But as always, if you're seeing this, you are a patron, and thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And with that, let's get right to the episode.
Okay.
Where? Here, will you take her?
Yeah, they're looking at him like he's crazy.
So this is you now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's just so relieved to have her child back that they're not putting two and two together. Oh man, that's a real shame.
Fetid moppet.
I'll have someone from the floor liaise with the Audis.
I need to find out who they talk to.
I wonder what he told him. Your innie hates his existence and sabotaged us? Like what?
And shall I fire them?
Let Kier guide your hand. We've commandeered the footage taken by guests. Natalie is already doing outreach to media. And the Severn employees who were involved are being dealt with. We'd like to ask you back.
An apology is warranted.
I apologize. My father apologizes. The board apologizes.
I welcome your contrition.
I'm so glad.
I recommend we start by scouring the
We
feed.
have something else in mind. We'd like to offer you a promotion. Severance Advisory Council.
She would sit on the board?
I never heard of such a thing.
It's a brand new initiative. You'd be spearheading its formation.
I should be running the severed floor. You don't value me. You fear me.
Yeah, it's easier to, butter her up and keep her around than it is to deal with her on the outside. She's obviously crazy.
And if we didn't hold you in such high esteem, we wouldn't be making this generous offer.
That's a fucking lie.
I'll put some thought to it.
Ready?
Earlier this evening, at an event where I was excited to share my status as a severed individual, I made the poor decision to consume alcohol while on a non-lumen medication. This had an inebriating effect, which caused me to say some deeply regrettable things.
Mr. Milkshake.
Apologies for the hour. How's your night been, Mr. Bailiff?
You've just been here.
Wonderful. And you're feeling well?
Oh, God. What did I eat in there?
I've been reminded just how seriously my family's company affects the lives of real people around the world.
This is a shitty cover story.
You know your innie is a friend of mine, which is what makes this so difficult.
You're firing me.
You were involved in a physical altercation with another employee this evening. It was brief but violent, and I regret to say that you were the aggressor.
Wait.
As such, I'm afraid we've no choice but to terminate your employment.
Distrust of Lumen has been sadly endemic since its founding. My words provided more fuel for pernicious hate.
What am I supposed to tell my wife?
This was a joke. And a lie.
So I'm hoping that at some point Mark's sister has a one-on-one conversation with him again, mentions some of the stuff she learned, like Harmony works for Lumen would be a good starting point. She was spying on him. That would be a really good place to start. We got an updated intro here.
So what?
So you said she's alive.
I really did feel it was clear you were referencing the baby. Patton had just saved her.
Well, he found her, yeah.
That Patton guy, something's off with him.
Referencing the baby.
Oh boy.
You're looking for Eleanor. You find this picture, which obviously is of interest to you, so you pick it up. And then when Patton found Eleanor, you still had it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the only thing that makes sense. So Selvig left her in there, or Cobell, whatever the fuck. Assuming that she's alive really was about the baby.
Well, you don't think it was?
Why are you getting aggressive with me right now?
Okay, guys.
Whatever.
Mark's workie went to great lengths to alert us to abuses.
What the fuck are you even saying?
Why are you being a dick to me? I'm trying to help you.
I'm just trying to get...
Dr. Hale. Mr. Scout, I imagine you have a few questions.
Oh, you could say that.
Okay, so
There is totally a camera in that damn helmet.
what happened tonight is what we call the overtime contingency.
Yeah, you never told me about this.
It seems the tech was commandeered by one of your office mates. Any Mark was here.
I know, I talked to him.
What did he say to you?
If I tell you, are you gonna punish him for it?
We have no punishments at Lumen.
Uh-huh.
I can only imagine how violated you feel by his actions.
Yeah, speaking of violations, just wondering how common it is for your managers to commit fucking lactation fraud against their employees' families.
Miss Cobell.
Yeah.
She is quite severely unwell.
Yeah.
Her behavior at Lumen seems to be the source of your innie's distress. She will never descend to that floor again. But we do need to know what we're dealing with.
Don't fucking tell him about she's alive. Don't say it.
No, I mean, we're very tired.
Yes, we are.
I hope to see you Monday.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
What your innie did tonight was completely unauthorized. It was also very brave. I'd hate to reward his courage with non-existence.
Irving outside gonna track down Bert. Still don't know why he has that map with all the different names of severed workers and all their locations.
Made argument over car wash coupon.
Honey, you're cutting them wrong.
Person with a conscience would feel very guilty about that. Ah, the fun job hunt begins.
No pressure. Be cool. You are so awesome. Smile.
Little pre-interview self-hype.
You know, I think this is going to be a really great fit for me. Ever since I was a kid, I've always felt like doors.
How old? How old were you when you knew you loved doors?
5.
If you could be any kind of door, what would it be?
Pocket.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Well, you're, doing your door thing.
Flat finish or eggshell?
Semi-gloss.
That's hot.
I was a severed employee, so
You're a severed.
I was. But, it's just me here, and I'm...
Well, Mr. George, thanks for coming in.
Adios.
We'll consider your application thoroughly.
You're not considering me at all. That's discrimination.
We need a certain kind of person here, Mr. George, not a certain kind of two people. You want to circumcise your brain, that's your business. But it doesn't mean I have to hire you.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to find work outside of Lumen, since they did this to themselves. Everyone thinks they're a freak. That door conversation was fucking funny, though. My god, that guy was nuts.
You'll get the next one.
Stop being nice.
I went by there. No one answered the door, though.
I don't think she's going to come back to that fucking house.
You're quitting.
Yeah. Haven't you been trying to get me to quit that place since I got there? I thought I was finally doing what you want.
Don't you think that was strange last night? Why was he so curious?
Devin, what are you doing? You remember I identified her, right? I saw her body.
Yeah, I know. If we could just get like a half step more confirmation, then it's not going to be something that continues to haunt us. Do you know what I mean?
Us.
You're not the only one her death affected.
Oh, really? It affected you?
Yes.
Did you have to tell her parents that she was dead? How about her students? How about this? Did your sheets smell like her for weeks afterwards? This is obscene.
I just want to be sure.
I am sure.
He does not want to reopen this wound that honestly has never healed, but yet Mark's reaction here makes sense. I think she has to keep at it, though. That was too weird. They have to keep at this. God. Big ogre. Okay, so Mark identified his wife's body after the car crash. I'm leaning towards clone. Who is he talking to? I could like barely hear him. I want to let you know my any something, and then I couldn't hear the rest. There's Bert. What the fuck? Oh, he brought a fruit basket. That'll cure everything.
Compliments of the company.
That thing has a bug in it, 100%. His motorcycle helmet had a bug in it with a camera.
How happy are you with your current financial compensation? I ask because our endearment to you is such that a 20% bump is on the table. Whether a full investigation into your innie's claims and regular wellness checks from independent orbs would help you feel more excited to return.
No, is that what they're doing?
It's the first step of many. My third question concerns your late wife, Gemma.
What about her?
In your intake interview, you cited her death as a primary motivator. You said since she died, every day feels like a year. That you felt like you were choking on her ghost. Do you still feel that way, Mr. Scout? He knows nothing of the pain I see in you right now.
Oh my god, I want to punch him in the face.
He's found love.
Love?
Ah, you fucking piece of shit.
You have given him down there will make its way to you.
Listen, this is a master class in manipulating someone's emotions, but my god. He's going to come back, not for the pay increase, not because they're going to treat the innies better or anything like that, but because there's a chance he doesn't have to be alone, in some sense. Don't get me wrong, the manipulation itself is brilliant, but it's so fucking scummy, even for Melchek.
Sister seems more uppity than he is.
I had 48 hours to pull this together. Hopefully there will be some chemistry.
We need Mark S. back to work.
Why do they need Mark back?
To complete Cold Harbor.
Cold Harbor?
Morning, Mr. Scout.
Morning, Judd.
Mr. Scout?
Good night, Judd.
The board's gonna give him what he wants, including Heliar. He won't finish without them.
Finish what?
Mr. Melchik?
Unemployable on the outside, so they all come back. I wonder what Irving was up to, though. Oh shit, she did come back.
Where do you think you're going?
What do you care? I thought you were quitting.
I trusted you. You were in my house. I ate your shitty fucking cookies.
You're so easy to sway.
You fucking kid. Why did you do this? Do you know something about Gemma?
Okay, took some time just to gather my thoughts. So that was episode 2. Wow. A lot has happened. So my initial suspicion that the severed employees were not actually going back to their normal lives, that was wrong. It turns out they did, and a lot of them were let go. Now, for some reason, they really want Mark back specifically, and they were willing to go to, pretty extreme lengths, get the entire team back, so long as he would come back. And Helena, I'm going to try and use that name to distinguish the two. Kind of have to, given the fact that one's a villain and one's a protagonist. Again, very interesting aspect of the show that the same actors get to play different characters all the time. But Helena mentioned Cold Harbor. Don't know what the hell that is. It sounds like some lame code, but apparently they want macro data refining to finish their work. So again, we still don't know what the whole thing with the numbers is. I theorized once before that, it's targets that are being bombed, something like that. They all have their individual different theories for what's going on too. All of it's crazy, but yeah, that's where we are right now. So whatever it is, it's apparently very important to them. We saw the direct aftermath of Mark S. at that party coming to and how the crowd reacted to him. People were weirded out by it, but they thought, okay, he's just talking about the baby, right? And they dismiss it as nothing more than that. His sister kind of stays on this point a little bit, tries to talk with him one-on-one about it, like, well, you were holding this picture of your wife, and, what if there's something more there? Maybe there's a way we can contact your innie so we can get some more information on this. Because if we don't explore this further, there's a chance we're going to regret it forever. Now, in the moment, Mark gets very defensive. It's understandable. He literally identified his wife's body after the car crash. So to him, this is just insane. Like, what are you talking about? Stop bringing this up. It hurts me. That type of thing. But before I would have said that Cobell was my most hated character, she's still really up there. But I think Melchek is making a real run for #1 with this episode and his performance in it. The way he skillfully manipulates their emotions in this episode is masterclass and also just rage-inducing. It made me physically angry to watch him manipulate them, especially Mark. There's that scene where he mentions what Mark said when he first did his interview and how he felt as if the memory of his wife's ghost was literally choking him. That's how he described the last 2 years without her. And so when Melchek mentions that his innie has someone on the inside that he's romantically involved with, there's kind of a temptation there. Like on some level, I wouldn't be alone, that type of thinking. And it gets to Mark in the moment. It's a way of making him feel guilty for ending his innie's existence because, again, if they don't go back to the job, it's like they died, essentially. Now, again, going back to Mark identifying his wife's body, I think based on that and the fact that Miss Casey exists, that leads me to believe there's cloning involved. The ending scene was very interesting when Mark finally gets to confront Cobell. She's just trying to get out of there, and he flat out asks about his wife, Gemma, and he asks if Lumen was involved in her death. Which, the way she reacted to it, the hesitation and then the just extreme anger makes me think, oh my god, maybe they really did kill his wife and plan to use her body for cloning purposes. Again, I could be wrong about that theory. I do like to make theories, and my track record is 50-50. I've said that many times before, and it really is true, but it's still fun to theorize and make these guesses. It's just part of the fun of having a reaction channel and watching television shows and movies in general, and I'm just going to keep doing it. But yeah, speaking of theories, there's also what's going on with Irving. His outside person had that map with all the different locations. Again, there was that scene where he made that phone call. He was talking something about his innie, then I couldn't hear the rest of it. He was being followed by Bert, who's supposed to be retired at this point. Apparently something has gotten underneath his skin to the point where he's actually following Irving around. Now, that could be loyalty to the company. Maybe he was never even a real Severed employee. We don't even know. I don't know quite what's going on there. I just know something is going on there. Also, it got mentioned very briefly, but the character of Dutton, I believe that's his name, the black man that was at the party with Mark looking for the baby, Mark asked, has anyone checked in here? And he started to open a door, and he said, she's in here. And then this guy yells out, she's in here. I found her. Like trying to take credit for the situation. Something is very off with that guy. I think there's something more going on there. Maybe a potential plant that works for the company, something like that. Again, there's a lot of layers to the company, and it seems to attract these fanatics that look to Kier as like a prophet or god. So yeah, it's not outside the realm that more people are doing things like following Severed employees around. Yeah, it was a really good episode, answered a ton of questions, poses a lot more though, so honestly I just want to get right to the next one. So as always, thanks for watching, and peace.